So it starts off with, it's an 8-session program. Each session is 2 hours. So it's an 8-week course, really, that people will take. And each unit, each session focuses on different things. The first one, of course, is an introduction to the science of stress and science of stress management. Dr. Benson have done a lot of research in that area. He's traveled the world, he's traveled to the Himalayas, he's worked with Tibetan monks that can actually sit in the snow in wet shirts and make the shirts go dry over time. So, we now know that the brain really controls the body. And we now know that we can actually control our own brain and the thought process. So the first unit, the first session, is all about the science of stress. What happens in our systems? To help people understand why we react the way we react to certain events. It talks about the, bottom-up or top-down thinking, because we have this thing called the amygdala. The amygdala is a very ancient part of the brain that regulates the fight or flight response, for example. It's essential for us to have that. However, as we grow up, as we become adults and in our childhood, we're exposed to different events, and the amygdala is very much autopilot. It sees something and then it triggers off a response. And today what we see most people in today's world, at least in the civilized, or so-called civilized world, people are spending their time mostly in this called flight or fight response. Something happens, the amygdala kicks in, and then your adrenaline starts pumping, your cortisol kicks in, and then your blood pressure goes up because your blood vessels constrict, your breathing becomes more shallow, but you're not really aware of it unless you know how to look for the signs of this is true stress. Okay? And then, of course, there are behavioral responses that we have in response to this subconscious chemical process. So understanding how it works is step one to taking control of how you actually can help yourself stay healthier. We know now that, for example, the relaxation response, this is what Dr. Benson had described as, through meditation, you can actually change your heart rate, you can change your blood pressure, you can change, how tense you are, and also through the research that they've done with Harvard Medical School, they're actually seeing that meditation will also affect us on a genetic level. When you meditate regularly using particular techniques, very much like the Buddhist monks, you can downregulate the inflammatory genes, for example, so your DNA won't express them. You'll have less inflammation in your body. You can upregulate genes that control insulin, so your sugar in the bloodstream isn't going to go up and down, and so you're going to have a much more stable mood, for example. All these things are important for people to know, why are we doing this? What's happening when we perceive stress? So that's, step one of the SMART program.